Ah, that's a prize right there.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm Grimm.
I'm Ole Grizz.
We are heading out once more to keep our skills sharp, to test out some new gear, to see what we find and how we can use it to better our situation. And you may notice that we're dressed a little bit, well, light for the season. I mean, what do you think of this weather, Ole Grizz?
Mild to warm.
So yeah, and that's very unseasonable for this month, these winter months I should say. And that you need to pay attention to that, because just because it's warm today doesn't mean it's going to be warm tomorrow.
Or tonight.
Or tonight. So how do you pack for that? What layers do you bring? Do you bring all the layers? I mean, what do you do? And we're going to find out. We're going to see what Ma Nature throws at us this time, because I don't think I've gone out where it's been this warm during the winter time. So let's find out. So join us on this bug out adventure. The Ole Grizz made it as well. That being said, don't ever underestimate the power of moving water in this current. That water might only be 6 inches, but slippery rocks, right on from under you. I'm gonna give Ole Grizz a hand. Ah, that's a prize right there. I mean, oh wow.
That's a whole one.
Yeah, goes right there.
What's it, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe?
I don't.
Definitely 4. I don't know if they would call that.
Definitely a 4. So an 8-point buck right there. Look at that. Well, this has lots of uses. I mean, because this is hard. And tools.
Handles for knives.
I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it. Light is dimming down, but it's not too bad. Not yet.
Looks like near the top.
But we're gonna have to bed down soon.
Yes. Dry out.
Coming up on this ridge, and we see that. No smoke. I don't smell any, I don't see any. But you can probably tell by the light, it's getting dark rather quick, and if we can use that, well, we're going to. Going on. Well, how do you like our newfound shelter?
Great.
Ole Grizz likes it. Did you get your boots off yet?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Yeah, Ole Grizz's boots got wet during that stream crossing, and want to get this dried out. I mean, as you can see, I'm stripped down to my base layer, and even this is a little bit more wet than I would like it to be. It's getting a little chill, but drying out. But we have 3 sides of wind protection. We're off the ground. We have a great roof in case it rains. So that's stating the obvious. This is going to be a plus. We don't have to set up our hammocks. We can just set up our bed rolls and move along and get to, well, bugging out. But that being said, this is a pretty well taken care of shelter, and someone built it, and I didn't, and neither did Ole Grizz. So someone else knows about it. That means that, you're going to have to keep watch. You're going to maybe have to do some early warning devices because you don't want to be taken by surprise. But take this as a win. Now that's a good fire. But now, it's conflicted card time. And the card reads as such. Your son or daughter died because someone who had a lot of food didn't want to share. They refused every attempt to barter with you, and you felt that they did it out of selfishness, greed, more than anything else. Would you plot revenge against them, or do they have the right to do as they please with their resources? Ole Grizz, you want to go first?
Doesn't matter to me.
Alright, let me give you some light here.
Whoa.
There we go. Yeah.
There's a lot of ifs in that There's a lot of conflicts in that conflicted card.
Well said.
Because it's hard to know, but in general, if each person who takes care of themselves, who prepares for a situation that's not good, they have the right to their stuff. It's not everybody's stuff, it's their stuff, and they have the right to pick and choose who they want to help. The simple answer is no. You should have prepared for yourself and taken care of your family and been prepared, and they have the right to not supplement your lack of preparedness.
Gotcha. Alright, now my turn. No, I would not blame them, because your survival, your child's survival, that's your responsibility. You should have. I mean, I understand you're trying to barter with them. I don't know what I was trying to barter with them. I don't know what I was trying to barter with. But when he refused you the first or second time, you should have not allowed yourself to get in a situation where your child would have died. You needed to start doing something about it. Since you clearly didn't do something about it beforehand, you need to make a change now. And so no, I would not. First, I would not blame them for the death of my child. That blame goes strictly would be on me. I messed up. I did not prepare. And then I would not plot revenge. And yes, they have every right to do whatever they want with their resources because they took the time, they took the money, the skill, whatever it was, to prepare accordingly for this disaster, whatever it is. And that's each and everybody's own responsibility. And yeah. So that's what Ole Grizz thinks. That's what I think.
What do you think?
What do you think? So leave your comments down below on what you think on this conflicted card. And also, check out the link that's going to be in the description for the sponsored link if you want some conflicted cards of your own, because they are fun to talk about. While I was collecting firewood, I stumbled upon some dried grass. And now, I'm painstakingly pulling out all these dry parts of the grass, because I don't trust Mother Nature ever. And I would like to have some very nice dry tinder for the morning when, more often than not, my fire's out. It's nighttime and we are not in our hammocks.
Nope.
I think it's probably, well, except for the bungalow, this is the first time that Ole Grizz and I have been underneath the same roof.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of roof, it's amazing what a couple of walls and a roof will do for you. Right, Ole Grizz?
Right. And a seat and a surface that's, waist high, whatnot, to cook on and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Just a simple flat surface or seats. What temperature do you think it is?
I want to say in the mid-50s.
Yeah, so it's nice.
And nice view out. It's just going to be interesting to see how sleep comes. A hammock is, we're sleeping on hardwood with our pads and whatnot, so flat, out flat.
And this is why, me as a hammocker, I have a pad, because I have now gone to ground technically. And with that, Good night. Day 2. It's still raining. Not as hard as last night, but it is still raining, and you know what? That's one of the nice things about being or having a shelter of this size is that even though it's raining, all our gear is dry. That's super important, and we can move around and do things throughout the day. Ole Grizz is already up, of course, and yeah. Let's see what we can accomplish with all this rain going. Granted, there's water everywhere. It's raining. Couldn't pass up the opportunity to use this nice little spring here. I also wanted to see how the Grail would do when you're trying to fill up something else. There's this one thing as a one-shot drink. What if you want to fill up a canteen or a bladder? Yeah, that's almost.
Was that 3 of them?
Yeah, it's almost topped off.
That's not too bad.
Well, the temperatures are dropping, and I know Ole Grizz and I could probably go with a fire. You're shaking the camera, yes. So, the fire pit is soaked. It's been raining all day. It's not looking like it's going to stop raining. And so I thought I'd give this piece of gear, the firebox stove, a try. And the nice thing about that is that it's small. I can have it on this rock, and I have it inside the shelter, and it'll be out of the rain. So luckily, last night, I gathered some dry grass. Today, I pilfered some dry material from a bird's nest to kind of really pack this and stage it. But since a lot of it's all still wet, there's a lot of moisture in here, I'm using a tinder tube. But to get it ignited, using a ferro rod as always, but I'm using a piece of glass. Let's see here. There we are. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this right on top. And that should burn its way through. Yes. If you want to know more ferro rod tips, like using a piece of glass on your ferro rod, check out the link that's going to be popping up for the bot, ferro rod tips. Because clearly, as you can see, it works. New piece of gear that's doing very well. Ole Grizz got a new pair of pants, and I asked him if they're waterproof, and well, he says there's only one way to find out.
Looks like it.
That's beating there, and that's. I mean, is that?
Well, I can't feel it.
You can't feel it? Well, those are pretty cool. And you said that. Oh, shake it right off. Who are those? Where'd you pick those up from? Oh, Grizz. Yeah, he's like,
Internet. Good deal.
I'm sorry, but they got fleece inside. So they're warm, and they're rainproof. New gear testing out. We'll have to work on Ole Grizz's ability to remember where he got this gear in the future. It is now dinner time.
Yay!
And I can say, at least from earlier when I was trying to heat up some water with this stove, it heated up very quickly. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna use your stove?
Sure.
Hey. Ole Grizz is gonna use his modern convenience.
As long as the canister holds out.
Right? How many times have you used that?
I had a couple of them.
Oh.
So I just shake them and the weight of them.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, we've been really enjoying this firebox because, as you can see, we haven't gotten rid of any ash, and this is all that's produced, and we've been able just to take little sticks, and we haven't had to work very hard for any, yeah, just like that size. Yeah. You know, that size, and feed this, and has not had any problem keeping it warm, and just being able to keep it inside the shelter, not having to go out,
Be in the rain.
and be in the rain. Very, very beneficial.
So now we'll see who gets their water hot first. As long as my canister holds out.
Right. Well, maybe I should put the lid on my canteen cup.
There you go. What was it? 60 degrees yesterday?
70.
70. We have no idea what it is.
70.
But it's colder.
It's definitely below 70, that's for sure. And in case you were curious, it's still raining. There you go. I'm gonna toast some bread. And oh yeah. Oh yeah. So good. That little grate's totally worth it. Ah. You should give it a try. Can't toast your bread over your stove, can you? It's pretty cold tonight, so I'm going to use my hot water canteen technique. Now, usually what I do is I'll heat the water in the canteen cup so the canteen doesn't get all sooty. But if you want to know my review of the Sidewinder Compact 2, check out the link's going to be popping up in the corner, and so you can see how I feel about it. But if you don't mind, you can tell by my breath and the flashing lights, it's pretty cold, so I need to boil up some water. We're back in bed. Right, Ole Grizz?
Yep.
And as you can tell from my breath, it is quite colder. And that's what we said from the very get-go.
Very much.
Went out with 70-degree temperatures, and this is very much below 70 degrees. So glad we have our extra layers on. And
Yep.
I gave Ole Grizz hand warmer. How's that working out for you?
I got it down at my feet.
I got my hot water about at our feet, so should be okay. Wind has died down, and again, having at least 3 walls to block the wind.
Yep, and a roof.
And a roof, very beneficial. So, we'll see what Mother Nature has ready for us tomorrow, and with that, good night.
Good night, folks.
Day 3 at the shelter. And if you can't tell, it's a very, very cold morning. Ole Grizz, he's already packing up. We're using his stove to heat up some water to get some breakfast in us.
Yeah.
Warm up the soul. Though, all of that being said, I actually slept pretty decently last night between the hot water bottle and having a hand warmer. I was pulled in all tight, and I actually had this jacket over top of my opening to cut down on any wind, which actually there wasn't any wind, which thank God for that. That's for sure.
There was wind, but nothing tremendous.
Well, apparently
There was wind down here. There might not have been wind up there.
there you go. Ole Grizz is down there, and I was up here. So we made it. Gonna get some food, and then probably start heading on out. Ole Grizz got himself some diluted coffee because that might be, for all I know, that might be his 4th cup because he's just trying to stay warm, just like myself. Got my oatmeal here. Yes, it's hot. And that's really all that matters right now, keep our cores warm. But also, I forgot to show you, throughout this entire trip, I've been munching on these. And this is what's known as crackling. And it's actually a byproduct of when you render fat. And if you want to know how to render fat, check out the link that's going to be popping up in the corner for the Pioneer Prep, Rendering Fat. And then you can also learn how to make some tasty morsels like this called crackling that I think would be great throughout the entire year, but you always want fat to burn to keep warm in the cold, and, well, I'm ready to burn this fat so I can stay warm. And we're off. No trace that we were ever at that shelter has been left. That's the way it should be. Now, just to get ourselves back to the vehicle, and I know I'm looking forward to this hike because it'll warm up the body.
Yeah.
I think, Ole Grizz, we're both appreciative of that shelter.
Yeah.
I mean, what, kept us warm, and then none of that rain, right?
No rain on us.
Yeah, if the gear got rained on, it'd have been frozen today, because there is frost all over these boots. Wonder what that river's gonna be like. That stream. More adventure. Well,
Made it!
stream crossing was successful and not frozen, but definitely a bit higher because of the rainfall. We actually had to cross at a different spot.
Yeah.
So, also, you might wonder why I have not been wearing my normal watch cap. I have a confession to make. I forgot it. I was in a bit of a hurry. That's not an excuse, but I suffered because of it. But it's if anything, it's a learning lesson to me to like triple check my gear, but also the importance of it, because there were some times that it was cold. So I've been using the hood as a bit of a help for that. So double check your bags. We all make mistakes, but learn from them. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this bug out adventure. I know it was a little unconventional with the shelter, but we found it, we took advantage of it, took precautions, but those advantages are huge. We didn't have to set up our hammocks.
Nope. And nor of our rain flies, which would have gotten pretty wet.
Right, and none of our gear got wet. Good wind block, so again, take advantage when you can find those things.
Yes, sir.
But also the importance of taking out layers even when you think it's really warm, because it started off at 70, easily was in the 20s. Ole Grizz, last night for you?
I was freezing. I was uncontrollably shaking in my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
It was a little scary.
Yeah, and I've been there too, and it's not fun. So in these transitional months where you think it's warm and it's gonna stay warm, and you just kind of go out there, be careful, because it doesn't need to be freezing temperatures for you to catch hypothermia, and more people, I believe, catch hypothermia in those spring and fall months.
Sometimes even summer.
Exactly, than during the winter. So hope we were able to show you this, and to be careful out there. And one more thing, for myself.
For everybody.
For everybody, double check your bag and your gear, because I would have really appreciated it if I had my hat on this trip.
Yeah.
But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time.